Good morning, guys, or good afternoon, whether you're joining me from the present or the future. Welcome back to another FutureFight Vanguard video. Today we are going to be continuing our journey through the Galaxy Stargate set. Did you guys get that? Traveling through the galaxy, Infinity War. Spoiler alert: this galaxy will no longer exist pretty soon. But yeah, so basically we're continuing on through the Stargate set. We have now reached the Link Joker decks for all of you scum lords who have been excited for this stupid clan, Link Joker. I mean, honestly, they're not even really that stupid anymore. I'm just being dramatic. They actually have a lot of things that have counters to them now, just counters to lock in general, so it's not really like a big deal. But this is actually a really fun future fight to make, because I didn't realize how fun the Messiah deck was. Like, it's ridiculously fun. But yeah, with that being said, let's get right into it. We're going to flip our G units over as usual. And then our Messiah deck is basically one of our two main G-Break Link Joker decks. It really focuses on locking and unlocking our own and also our opponent's cards. And this set, they got some new cards that help them do that a bit better, and help them gain rearguard advantage by searching cards, which is pretty interesting, like through Ideal Ego Messiah and like Miaga Messiah. But yeah, let's talk about our deck. Starting with the grade 3s, we have 7 grade 3s, 4 Ideal Ego Messiah, and 3 Alter Ego Neo Messiah. The new Ideal Ego Messiah has 2 abilities. The first one is a Vanguard once per turn ability that says, when this unit is placed on Vanguard circle, or when your G unit strides, you can choose a card from your hand, put it on the rearguard circle as locked. If you do, you can draw a card, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets plus 5,000 power. So obviously, things to note about this is that it is once per turn. So when you fulfill the cost to be able to use it, if you don't use it immediately, you cannot use it for the rest of the turn. So if you ride it on Vanguard Circle, the skill will trigger, and then if you choose not to use it and then you ride, then you stride, and then you try to use it when you stride, you won't be able to use it when you stride because you have already triggered the once per turn clause, and therefore it is already giving you the chance to use it. So even if you didn't use it, you can't use it anymore. So this effect is actually really good. I actually really underestimated how good this effect can be, because a lot of times I just didn't want to put cards from my hand to lock, but I'm just like, how useful is that? But when you start putting cards on lock, like Globe, Dober, Globule, Dober, and Velastos and Lady Fencer, Miaga. I'm just gonna call it Miga, my Miga. But basically, yeah. So the first skill is actually really underestimated. The second ability I actually never used in testing, but it does work kind of like another Miga. So basically, its rearguard skill is auto rearguard. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater Messiah card, you can soul loss 1 and lock this card. If you do, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 on your rearguard as locked, and then shuffle your deck. So basically, the way that these skills work like this, you might be asking, how is that useful? To put a locked card from my deck to my field. Well, number one, most of your strides unflip your cards. So if you don't have another card to attack with, you can literally just search out a card, put it as locked, and then when you unlock your rearguards, you're unlocking your field, or you're unlocking a certain amount, so you can unlock the front row attackers to get multiple attacks. Then we have 3 Alter Ego Neo Messiah. Like I said before, it has 2 abilities. The first one is when your Messiah G unit strides, choose up to 1 card from your hand, call it the rearguard circle, and then you can choose up to 1 of all players' rearguards and lock them. The second ability is an auto Vanguard Generation Break 2 ability. It says at the end of your turn, if a locked unit was unlocked this turn due to an effect from one of your cards, you soul blast 1 and you draw 2 cards. So Whether you're on either one, they kind of work well. Like Ideal works really well with like Glow, Dover, and all that stuff, and then Alter Ego just works well in general because it's just a really good card. This deck also pluses a lot, so a lot of times you'll have these massive hands that you won't really know what you're going to do with until the turn comes. So it's really, really good. Then for our grade 2s, we run 12 grade 2s. We have 4 Rester Messiah, 4 Miga, and then 4 Lady Fencer of the Mass Transfer. So then we have our 4 Rester Messiah. I'm going to go over its skill really quick. So its skill is Generation Break 1. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, if we have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Messiah in its card name, until the end of the turn, this unit gets plus 2,000 in a skill. The skill is at the end of the battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard, lock this unit, and if you do, you choose either player's rearguard in the back row, and you may lock it. So pretty cool ability. Obviously, you want to get stuff that locks itself after the battle, so that you can get ready to unlock and use skills and stuff like that. Then let's talk about my Miga. My Miga. Yeah. Something like that. I need to actually come up with a pronunciation for this. Let's just call it Miaiga to be polite, I guess, or not be inappropriate for the kids watching. Sorry, guys. So Miaiga, what Miaiga does is, or if you guys have ever watched Inuyasha, we could just call it Miyoga. So let's just call him Miyoga. So what Miyoga does is at the end of the battle that this unit attacks, if your Vanguard is Messiah, you can counterblast 1, lock this unit. Then you look at the top 3 cards from the top of your deck, put 1 on the rearguard as locked, and shuffle your deck. So kind of the same skill as Ideal Ego Messiah's rearguard skill, except for the this one costs a Soul Blast, this one costs a Counterblast. So noticeable difference, but kind of still the same. And then the Generation Break 2 rearguard skill of this card is this unit gets plus 2,000 power for each of your locked cards. So it can become stronger and stronger and stronger. You just need more locked cards to do it. Then we have 4 Lady Fencer of the Mass Transfer. It has 2 abilities. The first one is when this unit is placed on rearguard circle or when it's unlocked. If you have a Messiah Vanguard, it gets plus 2,000. And then the rearguard skill is Generation Break 1. When this unit attacks, if you have a Messiah Vanguard, you can counterblast 1. If you do, Soul Charge 1, and this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the battle, and then you lock this unit. So it's a really solid card. Obviously, like the rest of the grade 2s, lock itself after attack so that you can get ready to unlock with your strides and perform more attacks. We run 4 Destiny Dealer. It is our Messiah Stride Fodder. Works as a stride fodder that we can discard from hand to stride. And then also, if we don't start with the Messiah Vanguard that we want, and we have a grade 3, we can reveal whichever grade 3 we have and search the other one if we wish. And then we can discard a card after that. Ooh, sorry guys. We have 4 PGs next up. We have 4 Prayer Child of Steady State Cosmo. This PG is actually really good for this deck. I found myself using it a lot more than I thought I would. It has 3 abilities. It has the first ability, which is Sentinel. You cannot run more than 4 Sentinels in your deck of any type. The second ability is when this unit is placed on guard circle from hand, discard a card, and if you do, PG a Messiah unit. So you can PG Vanguard or Rearguard as long as it's Messiah. And then the activation skill is what I'm talking about using it all the time. Is it activates in the drop zone, Generation Break 1. Is you bind this card face up and you choose 2 of your rearguards and you lock them and then you draw a card. So if you can't get your cards locked on their own, you can actually have your rearguards lock and then draw a card, which is pretty cool. Then we run 3 Vlastos Messiah. What Vlastos does is it has 2 abilities. First one is Generation Break 1 when this unit is placed on the rearguard or is unlocked. Similar to Lady Fencer of the Mass Transfer. When this unit is placed on rearguard or is unlocked, if your Vanguard's Messiah, this unit gets plus 4,000 until the end of the battle. So you can attack by itself. If you need a booster, pretty good. 11k booster is pretty solid. And then its second ability is Generation Break 2 on the rearguard circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked or boosted, you can counterblast 1, lock this unit, and then if you do, Soul Charge 1. So very solid card. Fuels your soul. you know, gets your attacks going and your boosts going, and then does good work for you. Then we have finishing up our grade 1s, 3 Globule Dober. This card is honestly the MVP card of the deck besides the grade 3s in my opinion. This card is just so good. Its effect is when this unit is unlocked during your end phase or due to one of your Vanguard's effects, you can Soul Blast 1, draw a card, and countercharge 1. So it just basically runs the entire engine of the deck. You get plenty of soul in this deck to do what you need to do, and yeah, that's all I will say about that. Then we have our starter, which is Neon Messiah Arian, or Orion, however you would like to pronounce it. Has 2 abilities. The first one is Forerunner, meaning that it can move back to a rearguard circle whenever ridden upon, like most things in the game. The second effect is when this unit is unlocked during your turn, if you have a Messiah Vanguard, shove it into Soul, draw a card, choose one of your units, and it gets plus 5,000 power. So if you happen to unlock one of your units in the middle of an attack, you can, you know, use Orion skill to give plus 5,000 to it and then draw. For our triggers, we run 12 crit, 4 heal. Really the only way that you should run it in this deck, in my opinion. Stands are just not good in this deck because you unlock your rearguards to create more multiple attacks. And then the reason why you don't run anything less than crits like draws and stuff like that is because I feel like you'll deck out because you end up drawing a lot of cards in this deck, and I don't want to be put in that scenario. Plus, it's just a lot more aggressive to run 12 crit. So for our crits abilities, we have Blink Messiah. This is the Messiah crit trigger that shoves a soul on attack, draws a card, and then your Vanguard gets plus 5k. The second crit is the Paradigm Shift Dragon. This unit doesn't do anything for us specifically since we don't have a Star Vader Vanguard. We only have Messiah Vanguards in this deck. But you can use the Invoke the Axe skill to put it to the top of your deck, and then you would shuffle. So pretty good. You're just putting credit back to your deck, preventing yourself from decking out, etc. And then we have 4 Spicule Shark. I don't know. Vanilla crit trigger. That's all you guys need to know. Then we have 4 of our new heal, which is Star Vader Magellanic Stream. So what Stream does is it is our G Guardian heal, which means that when this card is discarded for the cost of calling a G Guardian, we can bind this card and bind another heal, and then if we do, we can choose to countercharge 1 or soul charge 1 to keep our resources alive. Going right into the G zone here, we have 2 of the new stride, Genesis Dragon Integral Messiah. Integral Messiah is just a really solid finisher card. There's very few ways that your opponent can actually survive it if they're at 5 damage. It's because of the first ability mainly, and the second ability combined, but mainly the first ability. The first ability is when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, if the number of face-up Messiahs in your G-Zone is 3 or more, all fighters return his or her entire hand to the deck and shuffle, and then you draw 5 cards. So if they've been stockpiling hand against you the whole time, then you can kind of just crush them in one fell swoop, because they'll put all their cards back that they've been amassing, shuffle, and draw 5 random cards, and usually that 5 random cards is not enough to block them from 5 attacks. And then we have its secondary ability is when this unit attacks, +1, choose a unit from your G zone and turn it face up. If you do unlock all of your locked cards, and if the number of your locked cards is 3 or more, unlocked cards is 3 or more, soul charge 1, draw a card, this unit gets plus 10,000 power. So pretty solid finisher, like I said before. Then we're going to go into our ultimate stride from Stargate, which is 0 Dragon of Destroy Star Stark. We run him at 1, of course, because he's the ultimate stride. His skill is when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, counterblast 2. If you do until the end of the turn, this unit gets -2 drive, and then it does not rest for its attack, and it can attack 3 times. So very solid. Then we have 1 Genesis Dragon Harmonix Neo Messiah. What Neo Messiah does is it has a really good ability. Generation Break 3, when this unit attacks, if your heart card is Messiah, you can flip a card from your G-Zone face up, and then if you do, you unlock all locked cards, and then you choose all of your units that were unlocked. Until the end of the battle, they get 5k, and then this unit gets plus 5k for each unit that was unlocked. And if 5 or more cards were unlocked until the end of the battle, your opponent cannot call grade 1 or greater cards from the hand to the guard circle. So basically what this means is that you want to lock as much of your field as possible. Then Harmonix Neo Messiah will swing, unlock everything, give all your rear guards 5k, and then give your Vanguard plus 25k. So pretty good. Then we have 2 Genesis Dragon Tranself Messiah. I never went into this card personally, but this card is like if you're fighting like something ridiculous that just rushes you a lot and you need to shut down the rear guard play for at least a turn, you can go into Tranself Messiah and hope that works. Yeah, and then just basically you can just hope that works the way you want it to. Then we have 4 Genesis Dragon Basaltus Messiah. What Basaltus Messiah does is when this unit attacks, if your heart card is Messiah, you can counterblast 1, choose a face down card from your G zone, turn it face up. And then if you do, you choose a rear guard and a lock card each from any player from any player's circle, and you can choose to unlock or lock them. And then if one or more cards were unlocked, you draw a card. Sabreeze is for when our opponent tries to play the pesky grade 2 game with us. You guys know the deal. Then we have 5 different G Guardians. They all have the useful scenarios for which they are useful. That's why I just call them useful scenarios. And then we have 1 Lacuscarina. This is our G Flip Guardian in the Link Joker set. It says when your unit is placed, when this unit is placed on guard circle, counterblast 1, choose a face down card from the face down G Guardian from your G zone, turn it face up, and then you can lock up to 3 of your rear guards, and then your opponent chooses 3 of their rear guards in the back row, or chooses a unit in the back row for each card that I rested. So, ideally when you're dealing with this, like, you would be locking your opponent's whole back row. And then we have 1 Space Large Ring Cosmo Reef. Cosmo Reef skill is when this unit is placed on guard circle, counterblast 1. If you do, your opponent chooses 1 of his or her rear guards in the back row, and then locks it, and if a card was locked, then this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So, yeah, I guess just, yeah, I mean, it's a really good card, but it kind of fails in comparison to Lacuscarina, except for the 5k. Then we have 1 Destiny Guardian. When it's placed on guard circle, choose up to 2 locked cards and unlock them. And then if a total of 2 units were unlocked with this effect, this unit gets plus 10,000 shield. So you basically unlock 2 and then it gets plus 10,000. Then we have Death Starvator Demon Maxwell at 1. When simple effect, when this unit is placed on guard circle, choose a unit in your back row, lock it, and then this unit gets power. And then our last G Guardian is Close Rip Gleam Lady Healer. What Lady Healer skill is when this unit is placed on guard circle. If there is a locked card, you can Soul Blast 1. If you do, this unit gets shield plus 5,000. And then if you have a Messiah Vanguard, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So pretty good overall for the deck list. And then we are going to get right into our games here. Loading back up our Cardfight area here. Is taking its sweet time. Sweet baby time. So we're loading up Messiah 1. So we draw our opening hand, we just decide to keep, we ride, pass, we get attacked for 12, draw trigger, we attack 9, and we attack Vanguard to get a healed, our opponent gets a draw, then our opponent attacks us, uses skill of Morganrot, add a heal to hand, call 2 cards, attack for crit, and attack crit, so we double crit. And then our opponent strides, and then attacks our Vanguard, checks the heal trigger, heals 1, check 2 crit, and then so I call cards, I lock it, use the other skill, same thing with Lady Fencer locks. Use the skill Basaltus. And then heal trigger, heal the rear guard, and then attack for 16. And our opponent was able to block that, so our opponent's thinking about a stride. he decides to go into Blazer Blockluger. So our opponent checks the draw trigger, we take the 1 damage. And then our opponent rides, we 2 to pass them with a 10k. We go into Basaltus again. We decide to lock Lady Fencer this time just because it doesn't have that 2k from someone else. And then we play a Destiny Dealer behind our rear guard. We use the PG skill to lock them, draw a card, and then we attack with Basaltus. So we're attacking for 26, 36, 3 to pass. So we didn't get it. However, they did damage check a crit. We attacked for 28. Our opponent goes into Blazer Blockluger again. Our Vanguard gets attacked for 31, checks a draw trigger, checks a grade 3, and checks grade 2. So our opponent discards 2 to re-ride. And then our opponent attacks rear guard. We don't let that through. We stand and we draw. And we go straight into integral. Our opponent is at 5 damage, so very important. And then we shuffle, draw top 5. I'm pleased with what I got. I send back the 2 crits. And then I attack, counterboss, shove, checks a critical trigger, and another critical trigger, crit to Vanguard, power to rear guard. Yeah, so that actually ends up being that game because our opponent could not block the Vanguard. Integral was just, making them put a backhand was too strong. I also talked to my friend about it, and he had 3 PGs in his hand. And we know he had at least 1 guard, so it's like, or he had at least 1 G guard. So loading up Messiah 2. I'm super tired, guys. We're playing against Gold Paladin. We get a decent hand, I guess. We ride, attack, PG, heal trigger. Our opponent rides and attacks, crits us. And then we ride, crit them. Heal goes off. They ride and then they stride. Ride ideal, draw a card. Now I can move and do stuff, but so we're using Basaltus skill right now to draw cards and countercharge, etc. We do double heal, which is ridiculous, but we check heal, then crit. Opponent takes 2 damage. Opponent plays Paramore, goes into Gruit. Our opponent attacks Vanguard, we no guard. Our opponent checks no triggers, we take a damage. Attack for 11 guard. Attack for 20 guard. Going to Assault says here, play a locked rear guard card to the back. And then we have 15 to Vanguard. We use the skill, counterblast 1. Play the top 3 cards, put 1 in as lock. So, we actually use the skills to try to get around our opponent. We go 5k to 2 half, the bigger one, and then 2 crit to 1. So we have, when this unit attacks, a glorious reigning. He is basically about to attack rear guard and then multi-attack. Sorry guys, my throat is hella dry right now. So we no guard Vanguard. Our opponent checks 3 cards, no trigger. We damage check, no trigger. Our opponent attacks for 11 and then attacks us again. We go into Harmonics. We use the PG skill, lock to draw twice, and then we attack. Unflip everything. +5 to everyone. 1, 2, 3. And then we attack for 30, and then we attack for 26. Our opponent goes into the Gargoyle Helios Stride again. Our opponent plays Henrius, gets cards off the top of his deck, so he's basically just thinning his deck at this point. So our opponent pumps his Vanguard up to the power that it's supposed to be. I was gonna no guard this, but I have 4 heals in my hand. I was also really scared since he hasn't checked a lot of triggers this turn. I was scared that he was gonna hit double like Judapaths. So I decided to just use all my G guards in one fell swoop. So basically this is the part where I say that I don't really mind making my way back up to the stairs as well. Our opponent checks 1, checks 2, checks 3, probably has a go. Then we stand and draw. I see 3 PGs in his drop zone, so I decided to just go for the ultimate stride option and to start. Use the skill. Play a card as rest on rear guard circle. And then we have a Lady Mass Transfer. Attack Vanguard, Soul Charge, and then Guard with both. Attack for 41, attack 1. Critical trigger, crit to Vanguard, power to rear guard. So our opponent cannot guard Stark either, I'm pretty sure. But obviously, ideal, I'm forgetting what it's called, but the stride is super effective. Like super duper duper effective. Or effective. Then we're getting into Messiah game 3 here. We're playing against Victor. We put back 4 cards, we draw, we get set up for our hand, we ride. We pass. They ride, they attack us for 11, we no guard. And then we ride, we call 2, they get skills. Attack for 11, attack for 9. And then our opponent uses grade 3 searcher to search. Uses the skill of stand trigger to flex his advantage. Oh yeah. So basically, I forgot that this happened in this game, but so I rode Alter Ego, I attacked, and then he was at 3 damage, and I just tagged double critical. Honestly, I was thinking about how funny it would be when that actually did happen, but now that I actually saw it, it's kind of sad. And that's just what happens sometimes when you're playing a deck with 12 crits and you're rushing in the early game, etc. Like crits punish really hard in the mid game or in the early game as well. But yeah, that has been the 3rd match for the Messiah deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. It helps a lot more than you guys think. Make sure to like the video. Love that like button. Smash that like button. Take care of that like button like it is your life, depending on it. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Keep updated with the videos that I'm posting daily currently. And then also click the bell button on the side so you can tell when those videos go live. Check the description down below for our social medias, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you want to support the channel a little more than liking and subscribing, those options are also down in the description down below as well, which would be our Patreon and our merch store. With that being said, this has been Josh from Cardfight Empire, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace, guys.